Yo, SmokaCola here, and today I'm gonna review. Wait a second. No, can't. Holy sh. So it's finally here, Nukem Forever. Now let's talk about the performance of this game since it took 12 years to make it. This is something that didn't really surprise me. After 12 years, the game ran great and looks great as well. I recently sold my 5970 to upgrade, and I've been using my dedicated physics card, a GT 430, to play the game fully maxed out at 1280 by 720. Now, of course, this didn't look as crisp as the 1920 by 1080 that I was playing at, but it definitely didn't make it unplayable. I did notice a few things though. If I tried to push the 430 up to 1920 by 1080, the textures loaded as if they were in Break or Borderlands. Now what I mean by this is they were very muddy and bland, but once it loads up and clears, it looks great. This is where I want to talk about consoles for a bit. All the reviews I've heard so far are for the console, and apparently the Xbox 360 and the PS3 can't hold their own when it comes to this game. The graphics aren't mind-blowing, but that was to be expected when everyone was told the game was going to be on the consoles as well. I'm not completely sure what this looks like on an HD TV compared to the PC version, but I can say with confidence the graphics and detail are nowhere near as bad as people are making them out to be. They met my expectations anyways. Also, it appears that the load times are quote-unquote extremely slow in some cases. I did notice this on my GT 430, but my laptop actually loaded the game from checkpoints a little faster, and now I own a GTX 590, which is what I use to record the footage of this review, and I can guarantee you, if you have the hardware, this game won't load slow. I would get into the technical aspects of it, but this review is already going to be long enough, so we'll save that for another time. I'm guessing people expected this to be an amazing crisis killer of a game because it took over 12 years to make, but I wholeheartedly knew this would not be the case. So when I loaded up the game and was greeted with the current gen graphics, I was quite pleased. The environment is destructible, and in some places you can even use this as a tactic to take cover. Another small detail I liked was the armor destruction on the aliens. Oddly enough, it was satisfying to see pieces of assault trooper armor flee from their bodies with the blast of a shotgun. So yes, there's definitely plenty of blood and gore in this game as well, and on-screen effects. Luckily they didn't go over the top like Call of Duty or most modern games, making the screen way too hard to see whenever you're injured severely. The effects are discreet and only there to add more visuals to the game. There was a slight problem I did have with the game though while playing on my 5970. During the demo, not the full game, there was a bad texture issue with it. This was actually a crossfire issue and not the game. As I said, I no longer have that card, so I cannot vouch if it has the same issue with the final product. However, I do know that my 590 is running the game just fine with SLI enabled. All in all, the performance is what I expected. I haven't ran into any major bugs that didn't allow me to complete the game, and everything ran very smooth on a low-end card, my laptop, and the 590 with SLI enabled. Here's the big hitter for the game in my opinion. When I played the demo, I guess I was so awed because I was playing Nukem Forever, I really didn't even notice the regen system or the fact I could only carry 2 weapons. Then it hit me. The reason I didn't notice that I only could carry 2 weapons is for the simple fact that you get plenty of weapons to pick and choose from throughout the whole game. This still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. After all, this is Duke we're talking about here. He should be able to carry multiple weapons, but it didn't get in the way of blasting away pit cops or assault troopers. That being said, you have to take in consideration that games have gotten much easier over the years. They are not nearly as hard as they were back in the day. So instead of loading you down with weapons and you having to know which weapon to use on which monster, you'll pretty much stumble upon a batch of guns that you'll need to fight the monsters with in that area. Still, my favorite combo is by far the shotgun and the Ripper, so not really much has changed since I was 7 years old. Also, before playing the game, I heard from several review sites the game was easy and the AI was not very intelligent. This was not the case when playing the game on hard. I found it quite challenging and the AI was even pro enough to lead their shots before shooting. Luckily, if you react quick enough and go the other way, you can dodge a missile or an energy wave. This leads me into the regen system. In this game you regenerate ego, which is essentially your health, and you can slightly increase your ego by doing random things in the environment. For instance, throwing a rat in a microwave and cooking him, lifting weights, getting a blowjob from a glory hole in a bathroom, and even winning a game of sluts. I mean slots. That being said, this game was shunned by a lot of PC gamers and hardcore classic Duke fans. I was in on this crowd until I played the game on hard. A lot has changed since the 90s and it's been quite some time since we last saw Duke in action. Having to desperately search for health packs definitely added a level of awareness to the game, as you had to plan out each move and watch your vitals a lot more. But in the same sense, not a lot went on in the battles back then. I can assure you the battles in this game are much larger, and playing on hard, your ego does not regen as fast as you would like it to. Also, every time you get hit, no matter how hard, it resets the timer for your ego to charge up again. Those pussies playing this game on easy super flamin' homo mode that whined about the AI and stated the game was too easy need to grow a pair and play this game on hard difficulty. If you want that old school rage that made you want to throw a controller at a TV, or in my case you probably did, then look no further, this game has it. If you want to go a step further, you can even turn off the game hints and the boss meters. There is an option to disable aim assist, but the aim assist only works for the 360 controller anyways, which is understandable. Anyone using a controller for their FPS game needs all the babysitting they can get to complete a game. I really enjoyed the classic FPS style of gaming where I had to think to go to the next level, not just press forward killing unlimited waves of enemy until I reached the end. It was quite nice having to observe my surroundings so I could tell where I needed to go next, and the fact I had to solve different problems by using the environment itself. You really get a good mix of levels in this game as well. Considering everyone and their mother had their way with the game, you see a variety of them. You'll have some where you're shrunken and there's even underwater levels. It all plays out very well, and you'll actually have fun stepping away from the realistic modern shooters that the market is being flooded with these days. And as always, there are boss fights at the end of the levels. As in all classic games, boss fights were the most satisfying part of the game. Nothing is more rewarding than slaying a three-titted alien bitch. Well, besides seeing the credits of the game, which honestly I thought I'd never see. And the boss fights and the Battle Lord encounters were pretty intense. After seeing how the regen system works on hard, you'll appreciate it much more and be glad they got rid of the old, hope to God there's a health kit around the corner game mechanic. There is one major downside to the new Duke though, and honestly I blame consoles for this button mashing nonsense. When a boss dies or something unique happens, you have to smack the ever-loving crap out of your spacebar to fully beat that part of the game. If not, the beast gets back up even more pissed and regens nearly all their health. This was a bad idea and should have never been added. I do like the added challenge, but if I kill something, it should be dead. Now onto something that I found quite enjoyable, but due to all the respected review sites out there, it probably won't get much playtime: the multiplayer. If you're looking for some fast fragging action, look no further than Duke Nukem Forever. This game has the capability to run even on the lowest end PCs, so no one should have an issue jumping into a game and rolling some faces. My personal favorite is the Duke match, which is technically a death match. The only downside is the 8-player limit. It's not a huge deal because 8 is already enough, but the map size is rather large. This would technically call for a little more players, however I personally felt like the player to map size ratio was equal enough to enjoy the match. Something else interesting about the multiplayer is the addition of an experience system and your own place, which is called the My Digs. Once you unlock things in multiplayer, you can fill your own place up with random objects and pictures of Duke, or you can go in and change your clothing for Duke so you look different online. When it comes down to it, the gameplay for Duke Nukem Forever is a ton of fun, and you have the option to easily jump in a game with friends and get into a massive frag fest, just like the good old days. None of the serious teamwork crap, just mindless creative killing.
Activity from the alien ships. In his speech on Thursday, the president said,
What's there to say about the story besides it's longer than you would expect? The game took me around 10 hours to complete on hard, and it was epic all the way through. With Duke's one-liners and the mission to save the babes of planet Earth, you couldn't ask for a better time. Some have said the whole saving the babes and corny one-liners are played out and it's a thing of the past, but personally, it brought me back to when times were good and we didn't have Justin Bieber on the radio. Throughout the story, you get to play several different levels. Whether you're shrunken or swimming through hazardous water filled with enemies, you're going to see a variety of environments. There are also several things referenced in the game you may not even notice the first time around. As stated before, the only thing that really disappointed me about this game was the boss fights. They were really enjoyable and challenging, but adding the crazy button tapping just to kill off a boss was a bit lame in my opinion. Duke is supposed to be a badass, and when he kills something, it should be dead, not waiting to come back alive just so it can regen all its health and rape the living goat shit out of you. It was definitely a nice nostalgic taste of the past, and it was fun to feel like a kid again, blasting pig cops in half and fighting my way to save boobs for everyone.
This is taking forever. Time to stop pissing around and get this big guy back into action.
Well, I certainly can't believe it, but the wait is over and the game is finally released. Did it live up to everyone's expectations? Certainly not, but then again, everyone apparently expected a crisis killer with hours upon hours of free roam, modding tools, and dedicated servers with 50-player co-op. For me, the game was good. Not over the top amazing, not the greatest game to ever hit the market, but it was very entertaining and I had a lot of laughs with it. The graphics and animation were not the best, but they did add little details here and there to make up for this. I personally don't care too much for mind-blowing graphics. If the game has it, then that's great. If not, I'm fine as long as the gameplay is remarkable. After all, that is what gaming is about, right? If you want unreal visuals, you should take your happy ass to the movie theater. Also, I didn't really have a problem with the controls. I turned the acceleration to 1 and the speed to 1, then cranked the DPI up on my G500, and everything worked quite well. The movement of the crosshairs was very smooth and not sluggish at all. This made multiplayer a much better experience, and it was actually more worth playing than I thought it would have been originally. I honestly didn't expect to play multiplayer that much, but after playing a few rounds, I'm definitely going to be playing this some more. As stated, the game ran great maxed out on both my laptop and the use of a 430 with the resolution turned down. At least I can appreciate that the game didn't have any major glitches that made it unplayable. It might have taken them years to make this game, but I'm glad it's not in the phase of most modern games that want to release a new game every year that's filled with bugs so they can make more money on a product that doesn't even work the first week. Yeah, that's right, I'm looking at you, Black Ops. That pretty much covers everything you'll need to know when deciding to buy this game. Truthfully, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's a clash of the classic Duke ass kicking with a bit of modern gameplay added to it. It's not the worst pile of shit to ever grace the PCs. It's routine. So, you don't have to worry about your money being completely wasted. The worst is you'll just find it lacking and not meeting your expectations of an evolutionizing shooter that took 12 years to make. So when it comes down to it, I believe Duke deserves no less than a 3 out of 5. The game kept me entertained and it was quite a challenge, but it wasn't the most amazing piece of work, and it definitely wasn't worth 12 years of creating it. However, it was a nice nostalgic feeling to finally kick ass as the king again. If you're looking for a great shooter to just blow some shit up and not be taken seriously, grab this game and rage all night long. That's it for the review, guys and girls. Don't forget to thumbs up this video for epic pixel titties, and leave a comment down below, subscribe to PugGaming, and take it easy.
It's good.